Elimination Chamber.
Looks to me like the main roster premium live events are starting to follow the path of the NXT TakeOver shows, because this event is titled Elimination Chamber Perth. And later this year, we got Backlash France. And to be honest, not a fan of naming the events after the location because at least TakeOver refer to taking over the city. Although I'm taking that sin off because it is so amazing to see WWE do more international PLEs on the full time to further expand their horizons and allow other countries to host what they normally wouldn't be able to.
This land was one.
Just like the Royal Rumble, instead of starting off with the traditional opening video package, we're going to show the audience first and the wrestlers arriving, and then we're going to welcome you to the show, even though we already just did. Just the sight of Kevin Owens bringing a koala into the stadium is hilarious enough to get a sin remover, because it's so random, hilarious, and appropriate. I don't know if showing that part of the stadium on the left is a good idea. A weird trend on social media is fans making fun of wrestling companies for putting tarp blankets all over the seats
At regularly scheduled intervals.
because we tried so much over the years to keep it at the 5-minute mark, but had a big lack of consistency and got sinned several times over the years. Also, nearly 10 minutes of entrances. To help save on time, they really should have had each wrestler reach the Elimination Chamber and then play the next entrant while they get inside, because every wrestler takes their time admiring the cage and slowly selecting the pod door as if it makes a difference. I am so confused on how anyone can make a Taylor Swift reference when talking about Rhea Ripley after looking at that sign.
Oh, and I've already been corrected. They're koalas, not koala bears.
I mean, that's not entirely wrong. Koalas are a type of bear. Hell, it's been known as the native bear of Australia, so I don't see the mistake here. Tiffany Stratton is an amazing addition to the SmackDown roster, but why get rid of her graphics and music from NXT? This isn't a situation where the music artist no longer works for WWE or anything.
Morgan has renamed this the Elimination Chamber.
Elimination Chamber.
He's the last woman to have pinned Rhea Ripley.
And Baron Corbin was the last person to pin Roman Reigns in a singles match. Where's his fucking title shot? Just saying, it's irrelevant that Liv Morgan was the last to pin Rhea Ripley if we're playing this card, especially since that was way before she became mommy.
Becky's done it all.
If Becky Lynch has done it all, shouldn't it be someone else's turn to get a title shot at WrestleMania? We don't want Becky to become another Charlotte Flair. Chamber pod cams and CGI Trons? That's definitely a first.
Those pods are incredibly hot. They're not very breathable.
Corey Graves is acting like the pods inside the Elimination Chamber are entirely made of plexiglass when that is not the case at all.
Take out your opponent as quickly and early as
This one-count pinfall sequence goes on for quite some time, and both Naomi and Becky Lynch are performing it like they're in a traffic jam. The desperation for quick pinfalls are not there.
Lynch able to matrix.
Becky Lynch gets out of a pinfall, then proceeds to pose while Naomi stands there, somehow being shocked that Becky can slide out of pins. Either Elimination Chamber is trending #1 in the United States because fans actually got up or stayed up for the start time, or merely because everyone else in the US was fast asleep, so there was nothing else trending due to nothing going on. Bottom line, no one cares what's trending.
Right in front of Lynch Morgan.
Lynch Morgan.
Driving Becky face first.
Well, not exactly. Naomi's knees are connected with a chain, which in turn is protecting Becky's face.
Yet again.
Wrestlers collide with each other, which signals the countdown in the Elimination Chamber match cliche. WWE 2K24 ratings as if that's going to make much of a difference in real life compared to the game life.
Have a few moments to recover. That's almost unheard of.
Good reasoning too. With all due respect to Shayna Baszler back in 2020, she dominated in the Elimination Chamber, but we were left waiting for 3 minutes at a time. Meanwhile, on this far side of the stadium, or at least we were going to show you that, until the CGI pod cams got in the way of the beauty. WWE is a dick to Australia. First the Elimination Chamber and now Livy time? I'm sorry, but Liv Morgan has got to come up with better material because it's difficult to get behind this. Why does the pinfalls and submissions have to count inside the ring only? If anything, it should count out here because this would be the perfect way to eliminate your opponents.
Oh my God! The sunset flip powerbomb.
That was clearly a blockbuster, you moron. Naomi has to flip over Liv Morgan and grab her by the legs to powerbomb her. Here, she clearly grabbed Liv's neck.
Power. On Stratton to kick out of 2. I told you.
Raquel Rodriguez is frustrated that her spinning side slam did not eliminate Tiffany Stratton, despite the fact that her spinning side slam has pretty much never won her a match in her career.
Every woman for herself. And the power.
Yeah, Liv, I'm so strong, and I'm gonna put you right back down after I picked you up instead of slamming you or something.
On Rodriguez, who powers that.
Looked more like Tiffany threw herself off the pile-up instead of Raquel powering out of the pinfall, but go ahead.
She was able to counter Corey.
Yeah, Bianca's.
I agree, that was an impressive DDT counter by Bianca Belair. Let's take our first sin off the chamber match. Wow.
By Morgan.
Look.
Damn, what a shame. Michael Cole gets ecstatic because of Becky Lynch and Tiffany Stratton being on top of the chamber pod, only for them to just punch each other and do nothing else. Excitement followed by the draining of excitement.
Stratton!
Doing a swanton bomb from the top of the pod can be very risky because it could mess up in so many ways, even if it's the bouncy playhouse version of the Elimination Chamber. So to see Tiffany stick the landing and the other women correctly positioned to take the hit makes it a great moment.
Tiffany, and she does!
Surprised there hasn't been a "We Want Tiffy" movement since Liv Morgan got booed out of the stadium after eliminating her. That's been quite the trend lately whenever certain wrestlers fail to win matches.
Not giving up.
And now,
Because Liv Morgan was late on her cue, Raquel Rodriguez had to awkwardly stand in position with Becky Lynch on her shoulder. Come on, Liv!
Bianca Belair.
What the fuck was that?
Oh! Backstabber by...
The backstabber works. It's the kick afterward that always gets botched by everyone Liv does it to. Bianca had to pull herself up and jump out of the ropes, and even Liv's feet slipped off of her. I'd just stick with the backstabber if I were Liv. The added kick ain't working.
I mean, it ups the ante.
Bianca's delayed reaction to Liv's kick. Man, there were more botches in this match than I first remembered.
Get eyes of the man.
What? Bianca Belair literally just got planted head first on the mats, and she's back up within 5 seconds. I get this is a bouncy playhouse, but at least pretend this version of the Elimination Chamber is devastating and violent. 5 cents for no selling.
Morgan will not give in.
Liv Morgan doing what every obsessed stan of Bianca Belair wishes they could do just to make them jealous. I just want to say, this side of the sun setting over Optus Stadium was a beautiful camera shot. Perth was looking magnificent tonight. Ceiling cam, and when every single pod has already been empty too. With all due respect, this roll-up was one of the most easy to kick out of, as Bianca could have simply moved either of her arms to the left or right, and she'd escaped the pin. I can only assume all desire to win the match died at this precise moment. I will congratulate Becky Lynch on winning the Elimination Chamber, but this victory would have been a lot cooler had Becky not already confronted Rhea Ripley for the last month and a half. It's practically gift-wrapped a chamber win for her.
The question is, who's she gonna face?
Well, considering the fact Becky Lynch had multiple confrontations with Rhea Ripley during the build-up to the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber, I'm just gonna guess Rhea Ripley?
Crowned the first ever NXT United Kingdom champion.
Technically, it was the United Kingdom Championship for the entire company rather than an NXT Championship title, but go on.
Reminded Pete Dunne of exactly who Dunne is.
And it only took him 2 entire years to simply give Pete a call to tell him that he should be done acting like that weird son of a butch.
In Elimination Chamber.
Considering how many times the camera is panning toward the beautiful sunset, I'm surprised that wasn't the sponsor for Elimination Chamber. And also, skip!
Jey Uso back out.
Dominic Mysterio was somehow getting jump scared by the Judgment Day's non-pyro despite hanging out with them for over a year and a half by now. The noise even explodes on cue, so how does this still make him jump? That's the 3rd or 4th time WWE has shown the CGI figures of the Judgment Day in this entrance alone. Kinda overdoing it here. Seeing Dominic Mysterio getting booed out of the building never gets old, especially when it's in a massive stadium.
From the hot dumping Dirty Dom to the floor. There goes.
New Catch Republic managed to avoid triggering the pre-match assault sin because they targeted Dominic Mysterio and briefly avoided Damian Priest. But then they attacked Finn Balor, which triggered the sin.
Australia for many years.
This is an awkward start to the match. Finn Balor had to help Tyler Bate get his legs into proper position for the turnaround head scissors because he wasn't ready.
Tyler Bate makes his way to the.
Honestly, what is stopping Finn Balor from simply lifting Tyler's legs and pushing them away from him? He's literally 15 seconds fresh into the match, too.
Done. Oh, yikes.
Pete Dunne must have some crazy Jedi power since his feet missed Finn's hand completely, yet still crushed it somehow. Sorry, but when you're given this view of the stadium while showing off the WWE 2K24 ratings of the wrestlers involved in this match, the only thing the viewers are looking at is the beautiful sunset. Show Dominic or something. The fans will definitely look away then.
Have to have a talk with our buddy.
This would have been even more hilarious if there were fans watching this event in virtual reality the moment the camera fell over.
Oh, and a cheap shot by.
This referee doesn't have any peripheral vision or a sense of vibration the moment Tyler Bate suddenly collapsed to the canvas following Dominic's punch.
Balor.
Considering Finn Balor was trying to free his fingers from Pete Dunne's feet, there is no way in hell that he would keep them in the same position the moment Pete jumps into the air to stomp on them again. First instinct would be immediately to cradle your fingers close to your chest in protection.
Nobody home.
Damn, the air had to hurt Damian's face. With how brutal that moment was, WWE should reconsider the PG rating. Monologuing is a villain's greatest weakness, Damian. How anyone still does this knowing full well their opponents can easily counter is beyond me.
We're gonna have new champions.
Because Corey Graves said that, it's pretty obvious that New Catch Republic are not going to become the new tag team champions. You jinxing moron.
Dominic.
Oh bullshit, the referee didn't figure that Dominic got involved earlier when he attacked Tyler Bate, but the moment Tyler is yelling at Dominic, she realizes he helped Finn get his foot under the bottom rope? I call bullshit. Cameras cut because fans were flipping off Dominic at ringside. Honestly, it's just the middle finger, not that big a deal.
From behind, look at her steal one.
Commentator stupidly refers to a roll-up as stealing the victory cliche. John Senile sign.
Implications tonight.
Just like Finn Balor, Damian Priest was trying to get his hand away from Pete Dunne's feet, but the moment Pete actually moves his feet, Damian keeps his hand in the same motionless spot instead of yanking it away from danger.
Oh, and Bateman able to reverse, send Priest in the...
Oh god, that was one of the worst wrestler accidentally runs into his own partner moments I have ever seen. Because of how out of place Damian Priest was, it looked like he intentionally injured Finn right in his ballers. What an asshole. The ending to this match was awesome. It's about time we got a Judgment Day victory that wasn't as a result of Dominic Mysterio being the factor.
You can't spell WrestleMania without the man.
Well, technically you can, because WrestleMania doesn't have the word "the" in it. I'm just putting it out there. Apparently a talk show involving Grayson Waller requires a 5-minute video package like it's a big-time match about to take place. The Grayson Waller effect takes up over 20 minutes of time, and literally half of that time are the entrances of those involved. I'm not even kidding. And while this segment set the stage for the tag team main event of WrestleMania 49 1, it took over 20 minutes to get to that point, and the rest was filler added in.
Tried Vegemite, and it's disgusting!
You're never in Houston, Texas without someone making an Apollo 13 reference, and I guess you're never in Australia without someone dissing Vegemite. 3 minutes of Seth Rollins making his entrance, followed by another 2 minutes of Seth enjoying the fans singing his theme music. WWE is really trying to make this waste of time segment go longer than it should have.
The American Nightmare!
Hard to believe this is not even the first time on a premium live event that Cody Rhodes was resorted to being on the Grayson Waller effect just so his name could be slapped on the marketing. Also, we had 5 minutes of hanging out with Seth Rollins' entrance and posing. Now we're gonna get another 5 minutes with Cody Rhodes' entrance and posing. That's 10 minutes of entrances for 2 wrestlers who are not even wrestling. Boy, that's gotta suck for all the other wrestlers who actually competed tonight and couldn't get any badass pyro or fireworks.
'Cause I am a visionary!
No offense to Seth Rollins, but he says this literally every single week, and it kinda loses its luster when it's repeated over and over and over. While Cody Rhodes is telling the story of what went down between him and The Rock, Seth Rollins is doing his best Fat Thor passed out from Avengers Endgame impression. I'd give it a solid 7 out of 10.
Dog show in W.
Austin Theory stole Grayson Waller's momentum, and the latter somehow hasn't kicked his ass for it in later weeks. Plus, the only reason he interrupted was because this segment was dragging way too long and someone had to take the fall.
Stop!
Seth Rollins is still not medically cleared for physical action, except when he is. Maybe he was faking the entire time so that he could walk into WrestleMania as champion unharmed. Dun dun dun!
Cody has an ally. And Seth...
Shaking hands with someone whose music is playing somehow causes your own music to play instead.
The rest of the combatants.
It is now time to explain the rules of the Elimination Chamber match as though you didn't literally just see the match happen an hour and a half ago. Nearly 20 minutes of entrances for the participants in the Elimination Chamber match. And also, no joke, the amount of time between the last match and this match is literally 57 minutes. It took nearly a damn hour for any more wrestling to take place on this wrestling show. Remove the Grayson Waller effect, and there'd be room for 1 or 2 more matches. That is the biggest stretch I have ever seen.
You notice the heavily taped right elbow.
Yep, I see the heavily taped elbow of Bobby Lashley. I can also tell that it's not going to be any sort of factor in terms of his performance tonight, as these types of things are usually forgotten of almost instantly when the bell rings. Oops, maybe I exposed too much here.
That was pretty incredible.
I hope that was sarcasm because Logan Paul's pyro compared to Bobby Lashley's was unimpressive.
The World Championship.
Kevin Owens is overdramatic and hilarious, even scared the shit out of Logan Paul with those headbutts. I fucking love it. LA Knight tried to make Drew McIntyre flinch by lunging at him and failed miserably because Drew wasn't even looking at him.
Strategy early on, looking for that.
One thing I'll remove a sin for is WWE constantly trolling the audience by going back to showing Logan Paul every now and then just to get them to start booing. Nice heat work. I get that we have 5 minutes before another wrestler exits the chamber pod, but Drew McIntyre slow mocking a CM Punk is really not doing him any favors in this match, especially when he doesn't take LA Knight seriously. Big mistake. Jesus, whoever was cussing up a storm must have went on a crazy rant for nearly 20 seconds because we've had nothing but muted audio. What gives? Logan Paul merely watched as Drew McIntyre kept getting whacked again and again into his pod. Meanwhile, Kevin Owens comes up with a funny bit of comedy by punching the glass when Drew's face came into contact. I love comedy. Not gonna lie, I had a mindfuck moment because I thought there was only 4 seconds remaining until the next pod opened, then realized WWE actually used a Slim Jim stick as the substitute for the 1 in the tens column. Also, given the fact that there are 3 Slim Jim sticks in this image, does that mean there are actually 1,114 seconds left for the next entrant? You're seriously making us wait 18.5 minutes for every pod door to open?
with Drew McIntyre.
See, even the crowd got confused with the timer. Maybe don't use actual Slim Jim sticks as numbers even if the brand is advertising every match LA Knight competes in. Logan Paul is somehow rated higher than Kevin Owens in a WWE 2K video game. Yes, that's the sin. I'm sure many others would agree with me.
Owens with a chokeslam.
Sin removed for Kevin Owens living up to a promise that he made to a sick child from Make-A-Wish who wanted him to deliver a chokeslam in this match. Absolutely beautiful tribute.
I can't argue with that logic. That was pretty awesome.
Oh no, please don't tell me the audience is going to start counting randomly for no reason like the Iron Man match at Extreme Rules in 2018. My god, that was pathetic. Don't give me reminders of that nightmare.
Punishment to...
Copyright infringement. More CGI pod cams from a far distance. Couldn't just simply show them in close-up, or not at all?
Knight up on his shoulder. Oh!
Counter by Knight to remain on his feet.
That was a great sequence of moves. LA Knight counters Bobby Lashley's version of the Dominator, then tries to kick Bobby, who ducks out of the way. LA turns right into a super kick from Kevin Owens and gets rolled up by Bobby. That was awesome.
Vintage!
Something I gotta give major praise to and remove 3 sins for is Randy Orton's selling of his back injury that kept him out for 2 years. Throughout the rest of this match, he was in excruciating pain to the point where I wanted him out of the match for his own safety and health. Fucking amazing job at selling injuries by that legendary snake. Logan Paul's weird drawings on the plexiglass. Just a shame we never got to truly see what they said. Kevin Owens beat the crap out of Logan Paul so bad that he accidentally jammed the door shut and locked them both in the bod. Hope they're not claustrophobic because that would've sucked. Ah yes, the glass is only strong until the chamber pod is empty. Then it becomes the most easily breakable thing ever. Kevin Owens is a dick to Logan's Pauls. My god, this is freaking amazing. Logan Paul has insane dedication to the WWE. That was one of the most brutal spears through the chamber pods I have ever seen from any Elimination Chamber match.
Cover for the win!
I'll get to AJ Styles in a moment, but did Michael Cole seriously say LA Knight was covering for the win? Pinning Drew McIntyre this early into the Elimination Chamber match means that you automatically win the whole thing? Also, elimination due to outside interference is always a sin. Crazy that AJ Styles flew all the way across the world just to cost LA Knight a chance at the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Sights. Looking for the Claymore. Kevin Owens pop.
And that is why Drew should definitely stop counting down for the Claymore kick. I'm surprised he still does the counting since he turned heel. Sure, nearly 30 minutes in, why not? Time for staring and more staring instead of fighting and more fighting. One of the greatest RKOs from out of nowhere. Just as Logan Paul is about to use the brass knucks, Randy Orton strikes from out of nowhere and eliminates him. First we had an elimination caused by someone who was not even in the match, and now we have the final elimination as a result of someone who was already eliminated. Sure, it sets up WrestleMania, but we were doing so good and this just ruined it. Always good to see Triple H, but it's sad that he can only appear to either welcome fans to the show or announce how many fans are in attendance. Awesome that women get to main event a premium live event once again, and the best part about this one is it's not being done simply because of gender, but rather a hometown hero versus a semi-hometown villain. I only say that because Nia Jax was Australian born. Look it up. To the guy who paid to see Helms, sorry that a hurricane didn't come through. To the guy who complained that this event should have been in Sydney, traveling didn't seem to be a problem for you since you got here safe and sound. A fantastic homecoming entrance for Rhea Ripley. When you hardly get any show in your home country and get to main event the show when it does happen, it's always a feel-good moment.
Let this crowd build behind her.
Rhea Ripley should know by now that you never headbutt a Samoan. Never ends up going well for you.
Rhea, she was beaming with pride.
Damn, that Hurricane Rana was set up almost perfectly. And then Nia Jax forgot to turn around and flip forward to sell the moment. Darn.
She's having her way. She's taking her time.
Having her way and taking her time is ultimately what cost Nia Jax the chance to win the Women's World Championship. Brutal as this torture rack is, she's not exactly squeezing the pressure. She's just taking Rhea Ripley for a joyride in the air. Sorry fans in attendance, but it was only funny when Nia Jax said it that one time. Oh no, I'm about to get a power bomb. Hold on, let me help you do that to me by pushing myself up in the air and not even trying to make it look like I'm struggling to escape.
Got caught. Went for the kick. Face first.
So if Nia Jax were to land on the apron right on her mouth, would she yell out my face hole? Haha, the table didn't break.
Through the table. Oh,
so the announce table didn't break when Nia Jax crashed both herself and Rhea Ripley in the Samoan drop, but then it does break when Nia doesn't get any airtime in that splash. It was a good match with a pretty good storyline, but sadly it under-delivered as a PLE main event. It does show that Nia Jax heavily improved after her return to WWE, but not much else can be said about it.